If you're here watching this video, you most likely have already about 5 language learning apps in your phone. I know that's a fact. So today I'm going to be talking about language learning apps, specifically about Busuu, which is one of my favorite apps to learn languages, and I've been using it to learn German for about 6 months maybe. So I'm going to be dividing this video into 3 parts. The first part is what are language learning apps like Busuu good for. The second one is what are the features of Busuu and what are the features that I actually use and what are the features that I don't use. And the last part is how to use it to make the most out of it. So what are apps good for? There are a variety of language learning apps and we cannot generalize, but apps like Busuu are really great for consistency and creating a habit. They're really great for gaining vocabulary and grammar structure, especially for drilling and doing grammar exercise. And a really good app will help you put that vocabulary and that grammar in context, and it's gonna give you phrases that you're actually going to use. So now let's talk about Busuu. This is one of my favorite apps and I've been using it for a while, and some of my friends and people from my community also love it. So when they contacted me a few months ago, I was like, yes, let's do this because I absolutely love this app. Busuu has 12 languages available. They have English, Spanish, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Chinese, Japanese, Polish, Turkish, Russian, Arabic, with courses that go up to the B2 level. I have personally used German and Portuguese, and there's a link in the description if you want to know more about it. Let's talk about each feature of Busuu app, so you know exactly what's inside once you get it. First is the lessons. I like that each one of the lessons have the time that it takes. I love taking good care of my time, so I love it when the lesson is like 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long. It gives me satisfaction because you're like, oh, it's just 5 minutes. So you're like, I'm just gonna do this real quick, 5 minutes. But then after you do one, you're like, okay, I want to do another one. This was too short. And then you do another one. And that helps you out. So I do like the general topics and how they structure grammar as well. And how they always do learning and practice, so not just memorizing, but actually put them into context. Now, one of my favorite sections is the one that says review. And on one side, you have the vocabulary section, and on the other side, you have the grammar section. And I just find it super satisfying because I'm such a visual person to see, the weak words, medium words, the strong words, and see them all with the, color-coded and organized. And the same with the grammar. I really like seeing that way. And when you look at it, you can also go straight at review vocabulary or review grammar. So if you see that there are too many red words, like probably, as I probably have right now, then you can do some review. They also have a community section. I don't really use this community section. And what I do like about the community section is that when you're doing lessons and you're like in the loop of doing lessons, they will occasionally give you an exercise to write or send a voice note or something like that to the community. And then you will get corrections. So I appreciate that they didn't just kept it apart, but they wove it into the lesson. And then you have your personal part where you have your full progress, words learned, other languages that you're learning also appear there with the app, your strike, your active days in general. And then you have your exercises. So remember those exercises that I talked to you that they will randomly like pop on, maybe not randomly, they do have an order, but they will just like appear while you're doing lessons. That's where your exercises are at. And there you have your review and comments and corrections. And then if you correct other people, they're going to appear in the correction tabs. And of course, one of the great things about Busuu is that they actually create a study plan. So I'm going to create a study plan with you right now to show you how it looks like. Oh, also, they have dark mode, and dark mode is amazing for my eyes. So I really appreciate that they do have dark mode. So they will ask you what your main goal is. So for me, it will be learn for fun and culture because that's my thing. Then you have to write what level will you like to be in. Now, of course, I'm going to write, maybe I'm going to write B1 for now. See where it takes me. How often do you want to study? So maybe I actually want to do it 3 times a week. Right? You don't have to do it every day. You can do it 3 times a week. It's still a habit. It's still something valid to do. Because I do other things, I will do it 3 times a week. And at what time? So actually, I'm going to put it at 9 a.m. as part of my morning routine. How many minutes? Maybe 20 minutes. And whether or not you like notifications. I turn on the notifications because otherwise I forget about it. Continue. Now it's generating your study plan. Done. And it says that by June 25th, 2021, I should reach the B1 level in the app. And then you have an overview of your study plan. Actually, it says I'm B1, but it's not right. I also like that you have like week by week, and it says week 1, and you have to do 60 minutes this week. So if you miss the day, you can catch up any other day and it will count it for you. So since I started late this week, I will probably do it Friday and Saturday as well. So now let's talk about how to use Busuu to make the most out of it. I'm going to tell you the very structured way, or the way that it's intended to be used, and the other way. So the way that it was intended is you do just what we did. You create a study plan and you follow it. And I kind of wish I would have done this with German from the very beginning and start from scratch with Busuu, because I think it would have been way more beneficial for me. And whenever I will start a future language like French, or maybe if I decided to use it for Japanese as well, I'm gonna start from scratch with a study plan and a very structured set. Especially if you're new to language learning, if you're not very sure about how to get started to learning languages, Busuu is gonna be great for you to give you that structure and to give you that base when you're learning a language. Another thing that Busuu is really great at is add a comprehensible input. I find that they have so many exercises for comprehension, and I really appreciate that, because not many apps have enough of those. I think this is the best, most effective way to use Busuu. And again, you don't have to use it every day. Of course, it's great if you build a habit of using it every morning, for example, or every night, or every whatever. That's like ideal. But you can also use it 2 or 3 times a week, or maybe just on the weekends, or maybe just during the weekdays, right? So whatever works for you. Busuu is going to make a plan for you. It's going to tell you how long it's going to take you to complete the course. So when I started using it, I started using just the grammar units, and they were super helpful on their own, right? So as a whole course, it's super powerful. But even if you pick and choose lessons, it's going to be great. So the way I actually use it is that first thing I do is I always review whatever it is there is to review. And then I will go to any lesson that I find interesting. I normally do like a grammar lesson and a more vocab lesson. I will, keep that balance in that way. Sometimes I spend just the 20 minutes that I need to complete the whole thing and tell me like, yeah, you reached your goal of the day. Sometimes I stay there for like an hour. It's a little bit addictive, I must say, in the good way. And the way I do it like this is because I combine Busuu with conversations with friends, and sometimes I also have tutoring lessons. So it's not just Busuu that I use. I like to complement it. But if you're like new to language learning, you want to learn one of those languages, and you're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know like how to do this on my own, Busuu is the easiest way to get started. It's one of the easiest ways to get started for sure. But then if you're more advanced and you know what works for you, and you like to combine and not only use apps but use other strategies as well, then for sure make a more relaxed or more mix and matchy routine as I do. So essentially I see Busuu as a great way to build that base of your language. It's going to give you the vocab and the grammar that you really need to go from nothing to B2. I will say that it helps a lot with writing practice, and it is incredible for comprehensible input. Of course, it's going to be great for habit building if you do the study plan, and like I told you, even if you do like randomly more free, you can create that random free study plan, and it's going to be very helpful with notifications just when you need them, just the days that you need them. It's going to just helpful to build and maintain the language learning habit. Of course, it's also amazing for grammar drilling, for practicing grammar, because you will get the theory, you will get the explanations, but also the practice that you need and the context. It's an app that I'm going to continue using, and I actually look forward to start a language from scratch with Busuu, which hopefully will be next year, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how good my German gets by the end of this year, actually. So these are my thoughts about Busuu. If you want to know more about language learning, you can check this out over here. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!